this tutorial, we're going to talk about building cardboard and paper clay sculptures. Materials you'll need are cardboard, paper, a tub or similar container for putting the pulp in, white glue, drywall compound, all-purpose flour, a blender or similar tool, colander or strainer, a bowl, measuring cups, a rubber spatula, and materials for building your cardboard sculpture like hot glue, masking tape, and you can use sculpture tools or similar tools like tongue depressors and toothpicks for shaping your paper clay. The first step is making your paper pulp. You're going to tear your paper into small pieces and let it soak in water overnight, or if you're using toilet paper, you need at least 30 minutes for it to dissolve and disintegrate into the water. While you're waiting for your paper pulp, you can start working on your cardboard construction. The foundation created with cardboard will be coated with paper clay like icing on a cake, so avoid fine details and try to create shapes and textures in your sculpture with enlarged, simplified, or exaggerated shapes that will stand out when coated. Once your paper is soaked long enough to the point where it will break down easily, use your blender or other similar tool to blend it until it forms a pulp. Strain some of the pulp until you have about 1 1/4 cup of paper pulp, and make sure that it is wet enough that it will still stick to itself if you break it apart and press it back together. In a bowl, mix together your paper pulp, glue, joint compound, flour, and if you're choosing to add some baby oil, you can add that in now too, and stir all of those until they're evenly incorporated. You can add more flour to reach a thicker consistency. Your paper clay will stay wet and workable for at least a couple of hours before it starts to dry. If stored in an airtight container, it will stay wet and workable much longer, but probably should be used within about a week. When you're ready to start adding paper clay to your cardboard sculpture, you can coat your tools with baby oil before starting so that the paper clay won't stick to the tools. As you're applying your paper clay to the cardboard sculpture, make sure you're applying it evenly and coating all visible surfaces. Within 48 hours, depending on temperature and humidity, your sculpture should be dry enough to either add additional layers of paper clay or begin the finishing techniques such as sanding, painting, or using other sealants to protect your work like polyurethane. You can find more tutorials like this one on our website at uticacreativereuse.org.